So if the mind is distracted, if the body is achy, or even if the breath is short, we're not judging anything that's going on right now. We're really just here as we start. And as we embark on this practice, this journey together, we're going to tap into the internal body. So the quality of presence in the internal body. And if that doesn't mean anything to you right now, don't worry. We'll go on this guided journey. Remember that there is no right or wrong way to move in this practice today. And equally, if for you, you want to lie on the ground for the entire time, that's completely valid as well. So it's not a space for any kind of restriction or judgment. And just as you are lying here on the floor now, maybe you start to let your awareness just come into the space of your back body, wherever the body is touching the mat. So you might feel it first in the heels. You can experience the weight of the earth, of gravity, just gently drawing those heels into the mat underneath you or the floor. And your breath is completely natural. We're not trying to change that in any way. And you continue to trace that experience of the weight. So you're really dropping into the space of your hips, really deep into the pockets of your lower back, and not just in these areas as I talk, but kind of deeper than that, into the blood, into the bone, which, although it may seem hard and heavy, is actually filled with pockets on a cellular level. And you continue to bring your awareness into the back body, into the space between your shoulders. And with each time that we move the awareness, imagine that you are just experiencing this from the base of your head, from the back of your head. So if you're trying to assess or analyze and all that information is coming from the front of your head, just see if you can actively shift yourself into the back of the head as you experience this sense of weight, so that the information is really on a deep, feeling, not a thought. And you guide yourself to keep dropping underneath it all, underneath the skin, in the shoulders, at the base of your neck. And then you reach this space at the base of your head, where it's neither soft nor hard. And it's a little like a ripe fruit, like a peach. So the pressure that you are placing in that area is equal with the ground and with the earth. There's a balance there. You're not floating and you're not sinking. There's an equal relationship. And as you inhale, you draw the awareness all the way to the crown of the head, the top of the head, where you feel a sense of kind of release, opening. And all the while, you drop your awareness into the back body, everywhere that the body is contacting the earth, the shoulders, the arms, the wrists, some of the fingers, all of the toes. And as we talk about these gateways into a sense of presence, we're just using the awareness of the body, of the aliveness of the body, of every cell, of every system, of every breath. And there's no need to think about it. Just allow yourself to feel into the back body. And still staying in that deep space of awareness, or just even curiosity, you may choose to start to drop the knees over to the right side. And you're just observing the aliveness of the movement. So noticing that you can move, that there is life in all of those tissues and the muscles as you drop the knees over to the side. And you stay here for maybe a slow round of inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, you bring your knees back to center. But rather than just moving mechanically, can you feel the pull of the sky or the space around you helping to lift the knees back? And then as you exhale, you drop the knees to the opposite side. And you take a breath. on your inhale, you allow the knees to be lifted back to center. And I invite you here to continue this movement. Maybe your hands open out a little bit. And you start to drop the knees and let the shoulder follow the movement. Maybe the head goes towards the opposite hand. Maybe it stays still. And just allow yourself to feel into that rocking of your hips. It can be slow, but it can also be fast as long as the awareness stays. And it's a very tender, very close feeling. So that every time that you move, you are making a conversation with the cells. You are giving them information, but also they are providing you with an exchange. And so as you move, you might like to ask yourself, how do I know, without opening my eyes, that I have these legs, that I have these thighs? How do I know them to be there? And through your movement, it's giving you that information. The space in which they are around. How it feels internally, but also that they exist in space. And then on your next inhale, I invite you to just extend the legs all the way down. Just let them slide so that the weight that is in the heels drags all the way down the mat. And you just completely extend on the floor. And you receive the information again. Don't worry, your natural breath is still there. Doesn't have to be serious, it's really more curious. It's like research with yourself. And with your head, allow the right ear to slowly draw down towards the right shoulder. So you are just tilting your head over to the right, remembering that you are staying in that awareness that the back of the head is like this ripe fruit. So you're not pushing, you're not forcing. Take a breath here in your extension. And then as you exhale, you let the head return back to center. And you feel, how do I know that my head is here? Inhale, you drop the head to the opposite side. And maybe you want to extend a little more. Maybe you do want to feel into the nerves, into the tissues. And you hold. And you exhale and you come back to center. And it's soft and slow enough for you to recognize each step of the movement, continuing like this. Just let the head experience the aliveness of movement. So knowing that you can move, that not only do you have a body, but you are this body. All of this intelligence, all of this cellular learning happens all the time, every moment, ever since you were conceived. So you know this. This is the most intimate part of you. No one else can have the same experience of your own body. It is completely unique to you. And all the while, you continue to yield to gravity. The force is there. We can't fight that. We just yield to it. We surrender into it. And maybe you would like to bring the head back to neutral as we all stay here for a moment. And you sense, how do I know that I have a head even though I can't see it? How can I feel into this sense of head? What does that mean for me? And it's amazing to start to connect just the aliveness of that part of your body. That it is breathing, that it is exchanging, that there are huge amounts of information coming in and out on a cellular level, in the nerves, in the hormones, in the breath. It's limitless. And still staying here, lying down, without elevating any limbs, you're going to extend the right heel away from you so that the toes come in towards the face, and you feel the back of the right leg becoming longer, and it's almost like the heel slightly lifts off of the mat. And then you relax and you let the head become and the leg become heavy. And you experiment on the left side. So the inhale, you bring the heel further away from you. You feel the lengthening in your leg in the back. And then when you exhale, you release this. And play with this movement. So you go with the right heel, you extend the leg, you sense into the spine, but also into the back of the thigh, and you release. And very important to really release, so there's no tension left. You yield every time the exhale happens. And it's like you're just walking on the moon, imagining yourself slowing down the movement. like to take your hands and just place them onto the top of your hip bones, just onto the hips where you feel the bone. And then you continue this movement. So if it's the right leg as you extend, can you feel how the hip rises slightly? And maybe it moves down. And then when you release, there's this coming back to center. And then try it on the other side, and you just observe what's happening in my lower back, in my sacrum. Remember, this is the bowl of your pelvis, and it moves together. And then you can release, just let the arms drop once you are finished with your breath. And staying still on this extended position, all the limbs are still in contact with the mat. Allow your right shoulder to kind of make its way down away from the ear. So you're sliding the right shoulder down towards your right side. And then as you inhale, you let the shoulder just come back up to neutral. And we'll do the same on the left. Inhale, drop the left shoulder. So you might feel a little pull in the left side of your neck. And then you exhale, allow it to come back to center. Good. We'll do that again on the opposite side. As you drop the right shoulder, see if the left shoulder can come up. So it's like you're shrugging the left shoulder towards the ear as the right shoulder drops. All the while, the shoulders are on the floor, and you exhale, come back to center, and then inhale. The body knows what to do. The left shoulder drops, the right shoulder rises. And you return. And we do this just a few times. Remember, it's a very mindful staying in the aliveness of your shoulders. And sometimes you will feel a little release in the neck or along the spine. And that's all just the cells being provided with the right information. And their intelligence is so vast that we just let them do their work. Come back to center when you're ready and just let the head relax. And this time as you inhale, slightly tuck the chin into the chest and push the back of the head into the mat. So you feel a nice stretch through the back of the head, through the back, but it's soft. You're not pushing too hard. And exhale, return back to center. And we'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, drop the chin, gently pushing the back of the head into the floor. And then relax. And then again, once more. And as you gently push, just feel into the spaces between the shoulders. Really watch what's going on. And then when you exhale, you completely yield, you relax. As you inhale, this time you draw the chin up towards the sky so that you gently push the head back, but in a different area. And then relax, notice what's going on. Inhale, pushing the chin gently up and the back of the head into the mat. And then exhaling, releasing. And one more time. Remember to stay, the awareness is still in the back body, in the back of the mind. And then relax. And you let the feedback happen. You imagine that the breath now carries all the way to your extremities, to your hands, to your feet. And if you could imagine that the breath could even slide underneath your fingernails or your toenails as you inhale. And you might not feel it straight away, but just with the intention that the breath moves there. And when you exhale, it's like the tide just returns back into the lungs. So the inhale fills up all those gaps, even the space between your eyelashes feels like they expand as the eyelashes interlace. And when you exhale, the breath returns back into the heart, back into the center. And remember, any sensation that you have right now is completely valid. All of it. And even see if you can absorb the sound through your body. Really experience sound through every pore, through the ears, of course, but through the skin, through the sensations, the vibrations. And you continue to release in the back of the brain. And we are always in relationship to the earth, to gravity, but equally to the sky, to the heavens. And with your breath in the middle, you are always in conversation. So the inhale allows you to reach, expand, move away from gravity towards the sky. And your exhale is a force that lets you yield, to give up that control, to sink in. And you may call it Mother Earth or Father Sun, but equally maybe it's Father Earth and Mother Sun. You can change the myth. Keep yielding. Letting yourself just drop. It's an unconscious letting go. And on your next inhale, staying in that space, we call it turiya, this dreamless state. You might choose to gently bring the heels back up and the knees towards the sky so that your feet are flat. And perhaps extending the arms out. And then we will continue to allow the knees to drop to one side. But this time, let there be a little more upward movement so that the shoulder maybe lifts off a little more as you twist. So if you're twisting to the right, you'll feel that the left shoulder kind of raises up. And maybe your head looks over to the left side. And maybe your left hand pushes down onto the floor. So the left palm gently pushes down and you feel more extension through the back. And I want you to explore, if that feels good, to drop the knees to the opposite side. And do the same with the shoulders, and in your own time here. And you feel the full aliveness of the spine. And you can come back and keep this motion or stay here. It's up to you. And every time you move, you feel the force of gravity helping you. So it's not so much that you are choosing to move, but that the space around you helps you, it pulls you in either direction. And once you complete a round and allow your knees to be back into the center, just stay here for a breath. And from here, you may choose to slowly drag the arms a little wider and have them slowly come into the back of the head. So you can interlace the fingers if you like. And you may feel as you've made this movement that the lower end of your tail, you feel it a little more. The sacrum, the end of your spine, feels more in contact with the ground. And as you inhale here, can you push your elbows into the floor behind you so you feel the shoulders gently squeeze? And equally, the belly slightly rises as you inhale. Just feel the belly rise and lift as you push the elbows into the floor. So it's a very small movement. You're just going to feel it as a response to your shoulders and your elbows pushing back. And then as you exhale, gently bring the belly back to the floor. And slowly with your hands, lift your elbows up so that there's a gentle curve in your neck. And you're like doing a mini crunch, but it's not so much about the abdominal effort, it's just about the movement of the head. As you inhale, you return. Bring the elbows down, push the elbows in, feel the belly lift. And then exhale, lift the elbows, drop the belly. The lower back feels like it gets closer, and rise. And just continue this wave of movement. Inhaling, feel the elbows move back in space. And notice what happens with the tailbone. Notice what happens. And when you exhale, you really let the back body drop. So that lower part of your spine, it kisses the ground. All we are doing right now is helping the body remember how to coordinate the contractions and the expansions so that there is no pain. And you can just let yourself relax as you come down, extend the hands alongside the body. And you can open the feet a little bit wider and just drop the knees into one another so that there's no effort in the legs. And sometimes when we've had movement, we move back into the space of the thinking mind. So just actively allow yourself to remember what it is to have feet. What does it feel like to actually have your feet? What is the sensation? underneath the skin, in each toe, but maybe you feel it less as a visual. It's more just the feeling, really. How does it feel to have your feet? Your feet. And then this aliveness, you recognize that it's actually also in your ankles. Regardless of the shape, regardless of how it appears when you look at them, what is that sensation for you? And this awareness, it just keeps rising up the legs, like water filling a glass. And then you become more curious and you experience what it is to have the knees, what it is to have thighs, and how it feels. And in the hips, it's a new space. It's a fully different experience. Can you explore? Can you go into those spaces, discovering different shapes, different feelings, different sensations? And that rush continues up into the abdominals, underneath it all. Into the middle of your chest, up the spine, and right at the core of your chest. Of course, there's the heart, there's the lungs, there's the diaphragm, but beyond that, how does it feel to have your chest, your torso? And this aliveness, it continues down the arms, into the hands, into the face, and into the back of the head. And then suddenly you realize the full body, all of it in its full symphony, alive. Every cell. This is the gateway to your presence, out of the thinking mind. You can always dip into your body. It's always there, always right in front of you. It is you. You are embodied nature and intelligence. You can't be removed from that. It's not possible. And if your legs are together, you can slowly extend them down and release the hips. And just see if you can receive all the information, so the sounds around you, the feelings in your skin, the air flow, the sense of your clothes, whatever it is. You just experiment and stay in this space. You can just let your awareness kind of float. You can let yourself begin to move if you feel comfortable here. through the hands, and through the feet. So it's a different sensation now that you are moving more to the surface. And you can roll to the right side in fetus, just holding the legs into the body. And in fetus, we are just coming back to our original position, the original shape. All of us have come from here. And when you inhale, just allow yourself to bring your spine tall, and that the space around you supports you to do this. And just come to a seat. Doesn't matter how or where. And you can cross the arms against the shoulders, against the body, and just let yourself rotate from side to side, just feeling into the spine. Maybe moving the head a little bit, just those final cracks and creaks. And then cross the hands the other way. And you can let your chest come forward, you can come back. And just take one full breath here. And exhale, release the hands. You can place your hands into heart center. And we'll just do a silent Om. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So that is it. That is the Nourish practice. Just take it slow today, wherever you are in your day. I just want to say how amazing it is that I'm now looking at Sweden, Thailand, New Zealand, and UK. And I just had someone trying to join from Tokyo, but I think she got the time wrong. But it's so amazing. That is just the best thing for me ever. Love you all. Thank you so much. Let me know how it feels for you. Please, any comments, feedbacks, I love it. It helps me to write these classes for you in a better way. All right. Enjoy your day, everyone. Bye.